RealtyNinja. Welcome, Lee. Thanks a lot for being here. It's just me and you today, Lee. So if you want to just check in with me in the chat window, I'll wait to hear from you. Just say hi or send a little message in there just so that I know you're here with me and ready to get started. And that way I won't start without you. So I'll just wait to see you check in, and then we'll start our success webinar talking about how you can get the most out of your RealtyNinja website. Lee, it's Seppi here, and I just want to make sure that you can hear me and that my voice is coming through and there's no technical issues, and also that you're here and ready to go. So if you don't mind just typing a little message into the chat pod for me just to say hi so that I know that you're here and ready to go, we can get started. I can see you typing, and that is a fantastic thing right there. So that means you're here with me, and that's perfect. So it's just you and I today, Lee, and so we're going to kind of try and tailor this to you as best as we can. So we're going to be doing a success webinar talking about how you can get the most out of your RealtyNinja website. I know that you've had a website already for years now with us, so this is great. It's never too late to be here on this webinar. What we're going to do is cover a couple of things that we've learned over the years of building real estate websites for agents in Canada, and then we're going to get into on-site optimization tactics, which are essentially things that you can do on your website to make it attract more traffic and convert more traffic into leads, and then some offsite optimization tactics, which is more so focused on things you can do elsewhere on the internet, marketing tactics and such to attract more visitors to your website. We finish off with a little touch on our dojo and ebook series that we've created, and then there's a modern marketing Q&A, but since it's just two of us, why don't we just do that Q&A as we're going? So if any questions arise while I'm chatting with you here, just type them into that window. I'll have one eye on the chat the whole time, so I can kind of stop and answer your questions as we go, so it can kind of be tailored to you. At the end of the webinar, you are going to receive a copy of these slides. So if you want to just sit back and chill and watch, you can do that. If you want to take your own notes, that's great as well. It's up to you, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So as a RealtyNinja customer with a pretty much automated mobile-first real estate website, you're already well ahead of the average agent. Most agents still in 2020 don't have their own website that's on their own domain. They don't have their own email addresses, and a lot of the ones that do have their own website are usually, and I've looked at a lot of websites, and I look at a lot of realtor websites every day, and they're pretty ugly, to be honest, and they don't have a great user they're a good user experience for the visitors, and they just look like they're built in the 90s. So you're already ahead of the average agent, but this isn't a webinar about being average. It's about how to get the most out of your website. So let's get into it. One thing that I like to talk about before we get into the meat of this webinar is just talking about the kind of current state of the economy of marketing that we're living in. And we live in what's called an attention economy right now. Everybody's out there creating an Instagram, a YouTube, a Facebook, even companies like Netflix. They're all out there trying to steal a piece of your attention so you can focus on their content. So attention is really just like digital currency these days. You want people to look at your site, look at your social media, watch your videos, and engage with your content. But when you think about how much content is really out there and gets published at every moment of every day, it really helps you consider what kind of content you need to be putting out there to steal a little bit of people's attention in this attention economy. So as a real estate agent, what are you putting out there through your website, through your social media, and your other online or even offline marketing channels to attract some of these people's attention away from their Instagram account looking at memes, or their YouTube channel watching conspiracy theory videos, or watching shows, binge watching on Netflix? You want to steal them away to you. So it's really important to remember this when you're kind of creating your content and setting up your website. So what does it take to make your website truly ninja? We've been in RealtyNinja in June will be 10 years old. Before that, for about 7 years, we were creating websites as a company called Base 10. We were doing custom real estate agent websites. So a lot has changed in about 17 years of time in terms of internet best practices and marketing best practices. But there's still two foundational rules that have remained the same over all the years. And these are those rules. One, don't be generic with your marketing, with your website. Generic marketing is forgettable. And two, create real value for your target audience. Now, I've been to your website, Lee. I've used your website before, and I actually use it as an example in this webinar, which you'll see in a few slides. So I know that your website is not generic. I know that you do actually create real value for your target audience. Your community pages are amazing, and your website is very much targeted towards like Princeton and those surrounding areas. And so you're already hitting the nail on the head with these 2 points. These are really more for realtors who are doing things like trying to be the #1 real estate agent for everybody and not really picking a niche. So rule #1 is about picking a niche and not being generic and marketing to your niche. And rule #2 is knowing what your niche wants and giving that to them and making your website all about your visitors. So I know you're already doing that, which is fantastic. Huge opportunities online, as I'm sure you're aware. Everybody's on the internet, everybody's on their smartphone. I drive through the city of Vancouver here and I see people crossing the street, and like 5 out of 6 of them are holding their phone in front of their face while they're crossing the street. So everyone is like hooked into the matrix and is constantly using their mobile device or even at home using their computer or their television to stay connected. And so it's really, really easy and inexpensive to access all of your target market, or at least most of your target market, through online mediums such as your website, social media, and tools such as this. It's really easy to compete with bigger brands as well, because those guys who use their Rolodex that have been in the business for 40 years, now everyone's on social media. So now the new guys can come in and reach all those people pretty quickly and inexpensively. As a real estate agent, you're kind of a public figure, a little local celebrity within your community. There's probably signs on bus shelters or bike lock racks or point of sale displays, and all over the community, people are looking at your face, seeing your name, seeing your phone number, and you have the opportunity with online to extend that to the digital world and become this quote unquote digital mayor of your town or area, or even just of a certain neighborhood, or even of like a certain property type. Or within working with a certain kind of buyer or seller, like first-time home buyers, you have this opportunity to become this public figure to them online as well. So they drive through the town, they see your ads, and then they go online, and then they see you on social media, and they feel like they're connecting with a celebrity. So it's kind of a cool feeling for them. Whether you're new to websites, or you're considering a rebrand, or just looking at ways that you can improve your site, no matter what stage you're in, these are 2 really important questions to ask yourself. Question #1, who's the website for? Question #2, what do I want them to do when they get to my website? So I know, again, you address these things really well through your website, but essentially what we're trying to figure out with these 2 questions is, who is my target market? Who do I want to attract to my website and convert into leads? Who are my ideal customers? And then #2 is, what is their journey when they get to my website? What am I hoping they do step 1, step 2, step 3 before they pick up the phone and call me, or maybe fill out a form and become a lead, or check out a property and request a showing? Whatever it is that you want them to do on your website, you need to kind of know the journey. The example we use here, it's kind of like dating. You're not going to go on Tinder and ask someone to marry you. You need to go on a date, and then another date, and then move in, and then meet the parents, and all this kind of stuff before, so the journey of dating, and you need to know the journey of a visitor coming to your website and then becoming a lead. So it's really important to think about this all the way through when you're looking at your website, whether it's already set up, or you're changing things, or you're just setting up a new site. So some things that a truly ninja real estate website should do, and I'm not one to read through a bullet list of things, because you can read for yourself, but I do like to highlight a few of the ones that I think are the most important. The first one here is creating trust with your target audience and breaking through the digital barrier. So I don't need to tell you how important trust is, and a trusting relationship in real estate. These people that are your clients are transacting, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of property with you, and they really want to feel like they can trust you and that you're a trustworthy person and not just a salesperson that's trying to get the most bang out of your buck with them, right? And your website now, I mean, when you do that really well in person, you shake hands, you smile, you're genuine, you provide them with information and value, and you can build that trust in person, but you can also build that trust on your website. There's a lot of ways to do that, whether it's by showing your previously sold listings, testimonials, testimonial videos, even videos about yourself, where you're there on screen and they can look at you in the eyes, listen to your voice, and see the real human behind this brand that is princetonbc.com. So creating that trust is of utmost importance, and there's a lot of ways to do it, and it's very important to do that because a lot of times people come to your website, they want to find out who you are and if they can trust you, and it's a real big indicator before they pick up the phone or just leave your website. Another big one is that your website is like a 24/7 employee of your business. It's working for you when you're asleep, when you're awake. It's always there, acting as this employee of your business. So when you think about it as an employee, as someone that you've hired and that you're paying money to, ask yourself, am I giving my website a raise? Or does my website need a strict talking to and maybe needs to get fired? Your website should represent your brand. It should represent you, the way you do business. That's what you would want of an employee, and that's what you should expect of your website. So take a look at your website through that lens and ask yourself, if someone visits this at 2 a.m. while I'm sleeping, is it doing a good job of representing my brand and the way that I do business accurately, or do I need to make some upgrades in order for it to do that? The last big one is provide value to your target audience. Like I said, that's something that you do. I love the value that you provide through your website. It's really like a magazine that promotes Princeton and the surrounding areas, and I think you're doing a fantastic job. But it's always about providing value. So we can always do more. So if you're thinking about ways to upgrade your website, just try and think about ways to provide value to those people that are your ideal clients in your target audience. Your website is not all about you. It does belong to you, but it's really all about your visitor. And if you can make it all about your visitor, that's how you're going to convert more leads through the traffic. Before we get into on-site optimization tactics, one analogy we've used for years at RealtyNinja is the race car analogy. Your RealtyNinja website is like a high-performing race car. It's got all the bells and whistles you need to win races. It's sleek, it's powerful, it's capable, it's got high horsepower. It's this amazing tool you have that can win you races, but it doesn't have a driver. The driver needs to be there in order to win races, in order to drive it past the finish line. So we give you this tool to win races, but you need to actually either drive it yourself or hire someone to drive it so that these races can be won. The website is a tool. This is the big thing. It's not a magic wand. It's not a Tesla that's a self-driving car. It's its own vehicle, and you need to actually drive it to win races. And when you do use it, when you are creating value and content like you do on your website, I'm sure you're getting a lot of traffic through your community pages, and you're getting a lot of visitors showing up on your website through those community pages. So it sounds like you are driving it. But if you're, if you're ever thinking about ways that you can upgrade your website or get more value out of it, think about that driver component. Think about someone to actually use the website every day, writing blog content, sharing links on social media, creating ads to send traffic to it. All these kinds of things are ways that you can drive your race car. So with all that covered, let's talk about some on-site optimization tactics. So ways that you can make your website convert more traffic into leads and actually attract more traffic as well. The first one is blogging content and resources. Like I've mentioned a few times, you do a great job of this by creating really valuable resources for your visitors that I'm sure attract inbound traffic through Google and other search engines. Inbound marketing is really, really key to getting traffic to your website. It's basically publishing articles or content on your blog that is going to attract your target audience to your real estate website. So keep that up. If you've created these resource pages and you're looking for ways to do more of that, the blog is a great way to do that. Even creating video blog posts is awesome. When you're creating content, ask yourself, is my content helpful, unique, novel, or new? These are 4 things that people psychologically pay attention to, whether it's in the newspaper or in a blog or anything online. These are 4 things that people are triggered to look at, and it'll take their attention. In the attention economy, it'll grab their attention and hold on to it. So if you're creating content and it's none of these 4 things, then you probably shouldn't waste time with it. If it's one of them, great. If it's more than one, fantastic. Using mixed media, important as well, because you can reach a bigger audience and you basically amplify your reach. Like if you're creating a video blog, your video will be discovered on YouTube, your blog post will be discovered on Google. If that video blog post has images in it as well, you'll also be discovered on Google Images. So it really amplifies your reach that way. Just an example of one of our customers' blogs. They film a YouTube video and upload it to their YouTube channel. So their video is discoverable on YouTube. And then they embed that into a blog post on their RealtyNinja website. And so this also becomes a blog post that's discoverable on Google. So it's really amplifying their reach. This is an awesome strategy. You don't need to be like a major video marketer. These guys are just sitting in front of the camera and their videos get tons of views. They have lots of subscribers on their video channel. So feel free to check them out for yourself. Chris Whitehead, they do a great job. The next one is next on-site optimization tactic is unique descriptions on your listings and on your MLS pages. So one thing to note about search engine optimization is that search engines only reward you for unique content. They do not reward you for duplicate content. If you have content that's stolen from somewhere else on the internet, like copy pasted from Wikipedia and posted on your page, it's not actually going to provide you any value because it's not going to get discovered. Google knows that Wikipedia is the creator of that information, so they're not going to rank you for that same basically plagiarized information. For that reason, it's also important to know that IDX data alone is not is considered duplicate content, so it's not unique content. And it's not strong enough to just on its own attract visitors to your website. You're not the main host of that of those listings and that data feed that's coming through to your site. The main host is the board, so they're getting the real kind of SEO benefits from it. We're just using feeds to feed them through your site, like any IDX does, right? So that's duplicate content. It's not unique. What you need to do is customize your listings and your MLS pages. So with your RealtyNinja site, if the listing belongs to you, so you've got a client, you sign them up, you enter their listing into the MLS, it automatically obviously shows up on your RealtyNinja website. Now you can go into the listings tab and customize that listing if it belongs to you. So you can go into that listing, hit edit, and actually add like more detailed MLS description, more photos, photo captions. You can embed a video or a virtual tour. You can upload PDF attachments. When you do that and you save it, that listing now becomes unique on your site versus anywhere else on the internet. Now that version of that listing doesn't exist on the MLS, on the board's website. It only exists on your website, and then you're going to start getting rewarded for it. This looks good because your client's going to search their address and your site's going to show up first. But it also looks good because it attracts more visitors to your site. And so if people are searching for a certain street or a certain property type, your listing might show up first if you customize it. The other thing is the niche search, which you do really, really well. I'm actually going to just jump here to this next slide. So this is a screenshot of your page, and I show this every time that I do this webinar because I think this is the best example of adding detailed information to a listing page to make it a resource valuable for people and also valuable for search engine optimization. You've got your listings here, right, at the bottom of the page, but you've also got the video, you've got the weather widget, you've got this detailed information, lots of nice photos, info about restaurants and bars, info about shops. You've really turned this page into a valuable resource for visitors, and this is what's going to attract traffic to your website. So the more you can do stuff like this, the better. If you just had none of this information on the site and all you were showing was these listings, it wouldn't do a very good job of attracting people to your site. Not nearly as well. Well, it wouldn't do a good job at all. When you've added this content, it's going to attract a lot of people. And I'm willing to guess that you get a lot of hits on this Princeton, BC page on your website and a lot of hits on your other community pages as well. At least that's what I tell people because it just looks fantastic. And my guess is that it's a real solid resource and good cornerstone content for your website. So Next on-site optimization tactic is proper keywords and alt tags all over your website. So I worked in websites back when keywords were a lot different. They were these things that existed only in like the code of your website. They were called meta tags, meta description, and meta keywords. Nowadays, keywords are everywhere. Search engines have evolved and they continue to evolve, and they can actually read websites at a 7th grade comprehension level. And so they're reading every word on your website and using keywords that they find on your website to learn what your website is about. So if your website domain is Princeton, BC, and you've got the words Princeton all over your website, then search engines are knowing, okay, this is a website about Princeton. So it's really important to have those keywords on every page of your website. And don't try and trick the search engine. Like I said, they're reading at a 7th grade comprehension level. It's really hard to trick a 7th grader. A lot of realtors write things like best realtor in Vancouver, realtor #1, award-winning realtor, medallion club winning realtor, and they just make that a paragraph. So when you read it, you're like, what the hell is this? And what's happening is search engines read that and they go, they're trying to trick us. And they actually down rank you rather than ranking you higher for those keywords, because they're going, okay, you're stuffing. It's called keyword stuffing. And it's sneaky, and search engines know about it. So don't try and fool the search engines. Google's robots know quite a bit, and Google has a team of engineers whose focus is just on not letting you trick search engines. So don't ever try and trick them. Just write for humans. That's really the takeaway, and search engines will take notice. The other type of keyword is alt tags. Alt tags are keywords on your images. Now, every image on your RealtyNinja website has an alt tag associated with it. When you're in edit mode like this on your RealtyNinja site, a little icon shows up on the corner of every photo when you scroll over that photo. If you click that icon, this box pops open, and then right here is where you add the alternate text at the top. So that alternate text, that's your alt tag, okay? So search engines know this is a photo of a human being perhaps, but they don't know it's Katie Burkhardt, the Vancouver real estate professional. So you want to make sure to go and add these kinds of keywords to all your images. Not only will it help search engines show your site, but it'll also help search engines show your site in like the images tab as well. Or sorry, show your images in the images tab. Next on-site optimization tactic is testimonials and your bio. These are two things that a lot of realtors leave out of their site, or they leave the page like as the last thing to update. So when I go to a bio page or an about me page, it says like this information's coming soon or under construction. That is a huge, huge miss on real estate agent websites. A lot of times people are going to your site to get to know you and see, like I said, build that trust with you through the digital barrier. And by not providing them with this information, you're actually doing yourself a disservice, and you can lose commission checks this way without even knowing it. People show up to your site, go to the About Me page, see nothing, and they leave and go to the other realtor's site in your area. All they want to do is get to know you. So make sure there's a page on your site that talks about who you are, shows the human side of you, include some photos, maybe a video just introducing yourself and saying, hey, I'm Lee. This is where I work. This is what I do best. This is why I love my job. This is why I got into real estate. This is why I'm different. 30-second video can really go a long way in terms of sharing who you are with people and humanizing your brand. Testimonials also, word of mouth marketing has never been beaten and never will. People trust the word of others, and that's why Google reviews and like Yelp and stuff are so big, is because we always want to hear from our peers and see what they're saying about their experiences of something before we work with someone or visit a restaurant or buy from a store or whatever it is. So really important to include both of these on your website. It's even good to include testimonials on your bio page, include a couple testimonials on every page of your website so that people, wherever they go, they see other people talking about you. That's fantastic. Just a quick example of, like, in my opinion, what is a bare minimum of an about page. A nice photo, contact info and name, and then like a little blurb about the agent. There's so much more you can do. You can include other kinds of photos of just yourself, lifestyle photos, videos, social media feed, all kinds of stuff that you can do on this about page. So this is just, like, in my opinion, if you're going to do the very least, do this much. It looks great. It's information. You got smiley faces. It's fantastic. And last on-site optimization tactic before we get into off-site is call to actions. So call to actions are the buttons and links all over your website that link to other pages of your website. Call to actions are also forms that collect information. Any action that you're trying to get out of your website visitor is a call to action. So if they go to your homepage and you've got 3 buttons there that say, get to know me, check out listings in the area, get to know the community, those are your call to actions. If there's a form at the bottom of the page that says contact me, that's a call to action. Everything that you're asking people to take action on is a call to action. And these are so important on websites because they basically keep people on your website and they direct people through that flow, through that journey we were talking about from step 1, step 2, step 3 to actually becoming a lead and becoming a client. So really identify who your target market is and what you want them to do on your website, and then create call to actions that speak to what you want them to do. You need to tell people what to do on your website so that they do it. If you just give them your navigation bar and be like, hey, scroll through every single page of my site, you're gonna lose their attention. We have the attention of goldfish, and we don't wanna go through every page of a website. We wanna see the things that are important to us. So it's really important to define that objective and put it up front and center for people. And try to make sure you're not just doing a browse the MLS call to action is like your main call to action on your website. That is not going to resonate with anyone. That is generic marketing. And it's a great thing to have on your site so people don't have to leave if they want to just do a general MLS search. But it shouldn't be the main thing. That's not the main reason they're coming to a realtor's website to do an MLS search. So keep that as just one of your menu items, but not as one of your main call to actions on your homepage or on any of the pages of your site. So with that said, let's get into off-site optimization tactics. Things that you can do elsewhere, not on your website, but on other websites and elsewhere on the internet to send traffic to your website. So before we get into the specific tactics, it's really important to talk about SEO in a nutshell here. Search engines, like I said, very, very intelligent these days and always getting more intelligent. They know what your online brand is all about based on a lot of things. It's not just based on your website. So you have, if you go and do a Google search for yourself, you'll see you exist in a lot of places. Maybe you have a Facebook page, an Instagram, a Twitter, a YouTube, a Google business profile, and all these other profiles on the internet as well as your website that search engines can find and look for information about you. They use all of these sources to piece together the story about what your business is about. And that's how they decide to rank you for certain things on for certain keyword searches on their search engine results page. You want to be in the first 5 results of Google. They get 67% of the clicks, and I wouldn't be surprised if this number is even higher now because search engines' main job is to provide people with the information that they're looking for. So they're always trying to get better at that, and they always are. And it used to be 10 years ago, you would go to page 2, page 3, page 4. Nowadays, you hide dead bodies on page 2. Nobody goes there. So you really, for your keywords and for your target audience, you want to be on page 1, ideally in the first 5 results. So try to make sure that all of that information that you've got on your Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Google Business, and your website are all consistent and concise. They're all using the same keywords. They're all talking to the same target market. They're all talking about the same thing. Being real estate in Princeton, or whatever it is that your strategy and your messaging is. That should be evident everywhere. It's going to strengthen your brand. It's going to strengthen your SEO and help you show up more and get more traffic. So with that said, first offsite optimization tactic is optimizing your bio on your brokerage site and other directories where you exist online. So doing a Google search for yourself is a really good thing, and seeing everywhere that you exist and opening all of those locations in new tabs and then visiting them one by one and adding your website URL to each and every single one of those directories. So there's lots of places that you might exist, and if you don't, you can create new directory listings like on networking sites like Alignable or all over the place. You can create these kind of accounts and profiles and add your website. The reason that you should do this is because of backlinks. Backlinks are one of the #1 signals that search engines look at when they're ranking your website. Backlinks essentially are any link on the internet that links back to your website. And what that tells search engines is that you have authority. Domain authority basically it's like the popularity of your website. So if 100 websites link to your website, your domain authority goes up and you're more popular. Thus, search engines will show you higher. Let me just read your question here. Should my bio be worded the exact same on all sites, or should they be slightly different? I would make slight changes just because then it's not duplicated content. You can use the same kind of keywords in your bio. And you know what, if you've got like 5 different sites and you just want to copy paste your bio, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Your bio is generally not the thing that's attracting a bunch of traffic to your website. So it's fine. I know how hard it is to write about yourself and write a bio. If you can tweak a few things here and there, fantastic. If not, it's really not that big of a deal because, like I said, the things that are attracting people to your website are different than your bio. But the consistency is good to have across your different platforms. So if you've got a shortened version of your bio for your Instagram, for example, that might work. Maybe write out a long one and then remove bits, for other sites. Generally, unique is the best policy, but you don't have to get super unique when it comes to your bio. Good question. So yeah, like I was saying, backlinks, super critical. Get out there and get backlinks on other websites so that they're pointing back to your site. You can also do this by like asking your partners, if you've got teammates that you work with, or if you want to create like a group within your brokerage of people that support each other, and you can create a page on your website that's like, other great agents in the area and link back to their site if they link to yours. Mortgage brokers, notaries, lawyers, home stagers, anybody that you work with, include a link on your partner's page of your website to their site and ask them to do the same. This is all going to lead to basically what I call Google juice for your website, helping your ranking and getting you more domain authority. Another great tactic to doing this is writing guest blog posts. So if there's popular blogs in your area that the whole community is reading, reach out to them and be like, hey, can I write you guys a blog post about real estate or about the community or whatever? 99.9% of the time, they're going to say yes because it's free content for them. You're not going to get paid for it, but what you are going to get is a link back to your website. That link is worth its weight in gold. It's going to help your domain authority. And if you can do this regularly by publishing content on other popular blogs, not only do you become a prominent voice in the community, but it's also earning you backlinks, which is fantastic. Next off-site optimization tactic is publishing and engagement on social media. So, by publishing content on social media, what you're hoping for is that people engage with you. Now, one thing realtors forget to do is to engage with others. Since the beginning of social media, a lot has changed. Instagram didn't exist a while ago. Twitter used to be a text message platform. So much has changed in the tools and the ways that we use them. But publishing and engagement have always been the two tiers, the two foundational legs that social media stands on. And a lot of realtors just focus on the publishing. They just take something from their website or take a listing and they post it, and they hope that people come and engage with it. In the beginning, a lot of people might. Over time, that number might dwindle. And usually the reason for that is because the realtors are not part of the other side of social media, which is engagement. Now, what I would recommend if you're going to just do a little bit of time on social media, I would suggest putting all of your 100% of your time into engaging and not even publishing. Just have a link to your website on your profiles and just go out there and like other people's posts, comment on them, and engage with your community. This is going to be a way stronger strategy than just publishing on your profile. So if you've got only a little bit of time, just do the engagement. If you do have some more time that you want to dedicate, a 50-50 split is perfect. You're putting content out there and then you're going and engaging with others, which actually attracts them to follow you and to come check out your profile and check out your content. So it's like going to a cocktail party and being someone that just goes and talks about how awesome they are, how great their car is, how much money they make, how hot their wife is, how awesome their job is, how cool their kid is, how awesome their dog is. After a while, you get kind of bored of listening to that person. They get a bit tiring. What you want to do at that cocktail party is, talk a little bit about yourself, tell a funny story, ask some questions, listen intently when people are talking, respond, provide advice, really engage with people, laugh at jokes, but also tell jokes. If you're just constantly showing up and telling jokes, nobody wants to hear from you anymore. And so the same is true on social media. Engagement goes a long way. When you like someone's picture or comment on their picture, you're giving them a shot of basically like endorphins. When people, it's like the same reaction as drugs give you in the brain. When people engage with your content, you get this, ooh, nice, I got a notification feeling. So you can be the brand. You can be, PrincetonBC.com is giving people that happy feeling, 20 times a day, 50 times a day. And so you want to do that. You want to go out there and engage. It will attract more people to your profile. It will attract more people to like your posts and share your content and really engage with you. And it basically makes you part of that community rather than just someone who's yelling at that community. And always remember, when you're publishing, directing traffic to your website is super important. That traffic is picked up by search engines. They learn how many people click on one of your social media links to your website, and they use that to help boost your ranking of your site as well. So whatever wherever you're creating content, try and link back to your website as often as you can. And our last offsite optimization tactic is paid traffic versus organic traffic. So organic traffic is anybody who visits your website through a link in search engines or a social media link that you posted. Basically, a link that you posted that doesn't have paid advertisement behind it is considered organic traffic. Paid is when you actually pay Google or pay Facebook or Instagram to create an advertisement that sends traffic to your website. So you're paying for clicks, right? It's called pay-per-click advertising, PPC. So that's the paid advertising model. What a lot of agents do that is a mistake is they think that throwing money at just like a link to their website is going to get them a ton of traffic that is viable, quality leads coming to their website. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Putting an ad out there that's just like a face, your face, for example, a bus shelter ad. If you're putting a bus shelter ad on Facebook and boosting it for $500, that's really not going to do much for you but cost you money because people don't know what happens when they click it. You need good content or a good reason for people to actually click your ad to generate leads and traffic out of it and not just waste your money. One great solution to this is creating organic traffic that is actually working. So for example, on your site, Lee, the Princeton BC community page is fantastic content. It's a great community resource and it even has listings on it. So advertising that link, in my opinion, is a great idea. You want to create a great resource for people and then boost it with money. People are going to love it. It's going to attract eyeballs, and those eyeballs are going to they're going to know what they're getting when they click it, because the link they see on Facebook is going to say, learn all about Princeton and why you should move here, or something like that. When they click it, they know what they're going to get to. It's not like clicking a picture of your face with your phone number on it. So, creating good content and using that behind your ad strategy is really the most effective way to go these days. A lot of real estate agents are wasting a lot of money on this stuff, and I don't want to see our customers doing that. So, for lack of a better term, don't advertise crappy content. If you have good content, advertise it. If you don't, just try and make good content, because people don't care about bad content. Contests are also a great way to get people to click your advertisement. So if you've got a contest going on your webpage for people to fill in a form, and maybe they win an iPod or iPad or whatever it is that you're giving away, boosting that on social media will earn you a ton of traffic as well. So things of that nature that people really care about, that's what's kind of a good idea for ads. This kind of thing, might work great in the community. Linda Myers might get a lot of eyeballs on this if it's on a bus shelter or a banner somewhere, but posting this on Facebook and boosting it with ads is just going to waste her money, because people don't know what's going to happen. What happens when I click this? I don't know. I might go to homesanyone.com. Then what? So it's really just a waste of money. So don't bother with advertising online, stuff like this. Just focus on your good content. With all that said, really the most important thing from everything I've talked about here is that consistency is key with all of this stuff. If you were to get into real estate today and you didn't sell a listing next week, would you quit? No, of course not. You got to be consistent, really build your name up and build your brand up. And then you're going to start seeing more and more customers rolling through the door. The same is true with your online marketing, with your website marketing and your social media and your PPC ads and your video content. Everything that you're doing, it's a consistent effort that really makes the difference. It's not something that there's no silver bullet with this online marketing stuff. It's really consistent effort over time that works the best. The good news is most agents are not doing it, and they're not doing it consistently, the ones who are doing it. So you really have an opportunity by sticking to this stuff for years to come to really outlast the competition and become kind of the leading household name in your community, which I already think you are probably, Lee, but still, don't give that up and keep going. With that all covered, I don't know if you're familiar with our dojo or not, but this is something that I write for regularly. It's not only is it a great resource, but it's us drinking our own Kool-Aid. So the stuff that I'm telling you today, we create great content for realtors to attract them to our website. We write blog posts and content for realtors to attract them to our website. And we do it consistently. And the consistent effort over the last four almost 5 years has earned us so much traffic to our website by producing content that our target market cares about. And it's grown our mailing list by thousands and thousands of subscribers over the years. So it really has been a consistent effort that's made this work, but it does work. It works for us. It works for tons of different kinds of industries, and it can work for real estate agents as well. I know it. I've seen it. And so, if you're looking for inspiration, please feel free to check out this 3-part ebook. You can download it here on our downloads page. Check out our blog and subscribe so you get the new posts whenever they come out. And that's really all I've got to say today. If you have any questions, Lee, please drop them in here. I'm happy to answer them at any time. And you know where to find us if you have any questions for me later on down the road. Please do. And, if you're going through the blog or the ebooks and you have any questions while you're reading through them, just hit me up at info@realtyninja.com and just say, hey, Seppi, and I'll pick up the email and we can chat. If you don't have any questions, Lee, I'll go ahead and end the webinar event, and then it'll redirect you to a page where you can download these slides, and there's a bunch of other great links as well. So thank you so much for being here with me today, all the way for 42 minutes. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoyed it. Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Lee. Have an awesome day, man.